All right, example 3, solving a trigonometric equation, zero factor property. Again, it's still zero factor property, which means you're going to factor. This one's already set equal to 0, so it's a quadratic. If this confuses you, looking at it like this, replace tangent. So you could just come over to the side and you could say, let W equal tangent. And then I would rewrite this as W squared X plus WX minus 2 equals 0. And then I can look at it more just like a quadratic. So in this case, or you could just write it as X squared plus X minus 2, because that's really what it is. I could factor this as WX, let's see, plus 2 WX minus 1, because I'm looking for the two factors that you multiply to get 2 that you combine to get positive 1. So those are my two factors. And then I can go back and I can put tangent back in. So this is really tangent of X plus 2 equals 0. And tangent of X minus 1 equals 0. And then I'm just solving. So tan X equals negative 2 and tan X equals 1. Now, we actually already did tangent X on the problem just a little while ago, so that part should be easy. Arcsine both of these, or arctangent, sorry. So arctangent that, and remember quadrants 1 and 3 is where tangent equals 1. And now in this case, they asked me to do it over the 0 to 2 pi. So this is the clue right here, because they use 2 pi, that they want this in radians and not in degrees. And so it was 45 degrees, which is pi over 4. And then it was the pi over 4 that happens to be in quadrant 3. So for those of you, remember, this is pi, which would be 4 pi over 4. So if I go 1 more fourth, it's going to be 5 pi over 4. So those are the two for that. Now, when we get to tan X of negative 2, that is not on the unit circle. So that means I'm going to have to use my calculator. So I'm going to arcsine. And remember that you're in radians. So when you go to your calculator, make sure that you're in radians. Okay, I am. All right, so make sure that you're in radians. Which I'm not, so let me switch it. And I am doing arctangent, so second arctangent of negative 2. All right, now it's just going to give me one value, and I have to make sure that's between 0 and 2 pi. Now, problem is, it is not. That's negative, and that's not between 0 and 2 pi. So, tangent, remember, you have to remember the period of tangent. Tangent has a period of pi, just pi. Remember, if you remember the graph of tangent, it looks like this. And it repeats itself every pi. So when I go to my calculator, I have to add pi to get to the next answer. So that's a solution. That's the solution my calculator gives me. It is a solution. It's just not one that I need. It's not between 0 and 2 pi. So I'm going to add pi. That will give me one of my answers. So one of my answers is 2.034. And then I need another answer, so I just add a period. So it repeats itself, so I add pi. And my next answer is going to be 5.176, which is between 0 and 2 pi, because 2 pi would be 6.28. So there's your 4 answers.